Good morning.
Good morning.
It's great to see each and every one of you, and at this time, we'll turn it over to our city clerk.
This is the pre-meeting of the Mobile City Council Tuesday, August the 3rd. We have request for waiver of the noise ordinance on November 24th and 25th, 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. And this is on Charmaine Circle East. On September 17th and 18th, 6 p.m. until 12 a.m. on Dolphin Street. August the 8th, from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. on Brossett Street. February 5th, at the Bragg Mitchell Mansion. And August 21st, from 5:30 to 7 p.m. on Angus Drive North. Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. We have one person signed in, and that is Sabrina Mass, regarding ARP funds. Yes. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I wasn't speaking into the mic. Sure. So Sabrina Mass is the only person that signed in for a non-agenda item, and it is on the ARP. It is an agenda item. Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Ordinance is held over. 64026, ordinance to amend and restate Chapter 64 of the City Code zoning.
Well, we need to convene another meeting. We've gotten dates from Ms. Biko Jones and from Ms. Cochran. The leader of that effort is not here today, so I would suggest that we would hold this item over 2 weeks.
And then try to plan another meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Committee of the whole?
Yes, ma'am.
Resolutions held over. 31567, adopt the U.S. Treasury ARP action plan.
Mr. President,
Mr. Davis.
the Finance Committee met last week and had an opportunity to ask the members and the other counselors in attendance had an opportunity to ask questions about the administration's proposal. My intention as chairman of the committee was to recommend adoption of the administration's proposal at today's meeting. We can take comment at today's meeting. My suggestion would be that we hold over action one more week until August 10th, but that we make it absolutely clear that we intend to vote on it next week. That will give individuals interested an opportunity to make comment today or next week on Tuesday. But we need to go ahead, as we know, we need to go ahead and act on this. And so that would be my suggestion.
Mr. Williams?
My question to the chairman of the Finance Committee is what changed since last week when the three of us agreed that we were going to recommend it for a vote today to the council? Do we want to?
I don't think we ever, my recollection is that there was, that my recollection is what I just said, that we were going to have it come up today, but that we were not going to vote on it until the 10th.
Okay.
Now I think, Mr. Williams, what we tried to do all along is give everybody who's interested in this as much room as we can possibly give them to offer comments. But we all know there's a deadline, and what everybody up on this dais has said I'm not responding to you, I'm just making a general comment now. What everybody up on this dais has said from the very get-go, from it first came up, is that there's a deadline. We have to submit to the federal government by the end of this month, and the administration has to have some working area in there to put the final submission together. And so we've always said we were going to act around the middle, and I think that August 10th is probably about as late as we can go. Okay?
And I believe we'll have some speakers here at 10:30 to speak on the matter. I've got some emails that pretty well confirm that. So I believe we'll hear from at least this South Alabama Economic Roundtable at the 10:30 meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
01582, authorized lease agreement with Alabama Power and SMG for storm staging site at Civic Center. 01583, authorize a foreign trade zone operator agreement with Airbus Americas, Inc. 03584, 03585, or reappointing Carlos Finley and Robert Thomas as part-time municipal judges.
We've assigned these two items to a committee. The chair of that committee is not here today, so we ask that we lay both of these items over for a period of 6 weeks.
So is that Administrative Services Committee?
No, ma'am, it's an ad hoc, yes, ma'am. It's an ad hoc committee dealing with the municipal court.
Okay, who's on it?
Council Vice President Small, Councilwoman Gina Gregory, and myself. Yes, ma'am.
Hadn't heard that.
08586, approved purchase order to Jack Donahue Company for a Ford Transit cargo van for motor pool. 08587, approve item-based bid for firefighting helmets from Sunbelt Fire. 08588, approve purchase order to Dennis Aluminum Products for 150 decorative street sign posts for Traffic Engineering Department. 08589, approve purchase order to Image Trend for annual renewal of software for the fire department. 08590, approve purchase orders for fuel for the Wave Transit. 08591, approve purchase order to Sherwin-Williams for paint for downtown pole painting. 09592, reallocate monies from capital fund police operating account. We've been asked to table this. $21,593, authorized service contract.
I'm
with
sorry.
Fort-
Madam Clerk.
Table 09592, by request of the police department.
To be tabled?
Yes. $21,593, authorized service contract with Port City Industrial for overhead garage doors, counter shutters, electronic gate services at various city facilities. $21,594, authorized contract with Routeware for route management software for garbage collection services. $21,595.
Hold on. Want to ask, Mr. Kidd, do we have a DBE for this one?
At this time, I have not received any information on this one.
No, DBE. Okay.
$21,595, authorized service contract with Johnson Controls for DDC controls, system inspection and preventative maintenance at the History Museum of Mobile. $21,596, authorized contract extension with Premium Parking of Alabama LLC for cruise terminal parking management. 60, 597, 598, 599, 600 are approving settlement agreements and release of claims. 60, 601, approve issuance of revenue bonds for the Infirmary Health System Special Care Facilities Authority of Mobile. 60, 606, resolve that all members of the City Council should be allowed unhindered access to their official city email accounts.
Sir?
We sent that to committee for about 6 weeks.
No.
It's going to fail today. We've seen that committee for about 3 weeks.
Well, we could do that, Mr. Williams, or we could move forward and handle the item today. Right.
Can I ask a question?
Ms. Rich?
If I'm correct, if I'm not correct, I need to stand corrected, but I understand that the email to Councilman Richardson has been restored. So I'm thinking there's more to this as far as the administration's overreach according to our council attorney. In other words, we cannot direct city employees. It's impeachable, and I certainly respect that and understand it. And the same thing coming from administration up to council. So does the language of this, and why would there need to be language if that's the basis of the Zogby bill and how we operate as two different, effective, but check and balance systems? I mean, I don't want this necessarily to fail because I think I've sensed sometimes the, and I think I pointed out, I didn't think it would go as global. I thought it would go more to my colleagues when there was the press conference and signing an agreement that was ceremonial, but just seemed out of place when it came to, it was up at the, it was in the council's lane to approve that agreement. So I see this as stress and an avenue perhaps to clarify for future councils. But the Zogby bill's clear. But the idea that the email would be unhindered, that's already resolved. And to me, it was a lack of communication more than anything of what the outcome would be if you didn't take the test. It's called communication. It's simple. So maybe committee is a good idea.
Mr. President,
Mrs. Richardson?
my email is on, but I thought that city hired servants can direct an elected official.
I can't hear him.
Mr. Davis is having issues hearing you, Mr. Richardson.
Okay, I said, my email is on, but the thought that hired servants of the city can direct an elected official is absurd. Zogby 1144C-24 gives the council authority to make laws and set policy. No branch of government can make a law and execute it. Either you can make it and somebody execute it, or you can execute it or somebody else make it. They made the law and they executed the law. That's tyranny. In the federal government, the president cannot make a law. But if he could make a law and he had the police force behind him, he would be a monarch. He would be a monarch. He would have absolute power. If the governor had power over the state troopers, and she can call out the National Guard if she wanted to, and make the laws, it would be the same thing. City can't have one group making the law and another group making laws too for the group that makes the law. Let's move on, Mr. President. I think we need to get it straight.
Let's just vote today.
Any other discussion? Madam City Clerk?
Consent resolutions being introduced for the first time, 03607, 03608, are appointing and reappointing Brenda Jackson to the Mobile Library Board, Tammy Howell and Stacy Yon to the Ad hoc Animal Shelter Citizens Advisory Committee. 27609, designate election officers for the August 24th municipal election. 58, 610, and 611 are assessing costs for removal of weeds and authorizing removal of weeds, groups 47 and 1615. 03625, appoint Andrew Bluehouse to the Mobile Tree Commission. 27626, we're adding this one, 27626, designate a new emergency polling place for Ward 5-4, Fondy Elementary School.
Mr. President,
Mr. Davis?
I support adding this 27626.
And I do as well.
I do as well.
Fine.
CIP resolutions being introduced, 21612, authorized contract with geotechnical engineering testing for 2020 PAYGO and 2021 CIP resurfacing citywide. 21.
Okay, no. Before we go, Ms. Kidd, on 21612, you have
On 21612, this is the management service of the actual construction contract. This is for them to oversee the contractor. And I do need to go back to 21594. That is an actual software that they are paying for, so there will be no subcontractor in that one.
okay.
And we do have, for 21613, we do have DB participation on that, and they have met the qualifications for it.
Okay, why is that? I believe it's one more, maybe two more. Okay. Let me see. What about 21619?
That one is an actual specialty. That one is for the bridge inspection, and they have to have special certifications from the state in order to be able to do that one.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
21613, authorized contract with Jose Weaver Construction for PAYGO and 2021 CIP resurfacing citywide, $8,959,294.73. Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 08614, approved purchase order to Jason Pilger Chrysler Dodge for Jeep SUV for police administrative services, $31,541. 08615, approved purchase order to Sunbelt Fire for fire coats and pants for fire department, $201,040. 09616, appropriate $1,300,000 in the Rebuild Alabama Special Revenue Fund for the Tiger Dr. MLK Jr. Avenue Broad Street project.
I have some questions on that one.
Ms. Rich?
Thank you. Is this section not part of the 14 million that was allocated for the Tiger grant?
It's all inclusive. That project, as you know, is much greater than the 14 million originally allocated by the federal government for the
So
Tiger.
this section was not part of the 14 million. That's why you're going to have to go in and use the Rebuild Alabama funds.
Well, the 14 million was only the government's contribution to the overall project cost.
And what is the overall?
Right now, I think the total is probably around 35 million total for all sections.
When you say all sections?
That's
what-
MLK, Broad Street Phase 1 and 2, and then Phase 3 and 4, which include,
Up
really,
to-
the MLK is a leg off of that, and it's Broad Street all the way around from the, including the roundabout. As you know, the roundabout was added, that was $2.5 million, and then all the way out to Baltimore Street.
Okay. And what is the balance in the Rebuild Alabama Special Revenue Fund?
Yeah.
The balance is each year we get awarded so much money from the Rebuild Alabama Fund, and
Right.
we have for the last couple of years. And that money has been set aside for supporting this Tiger Grant project.
How much has that?
It was about 1.3 million this year.
So that's using all of it for this year, but you said there's been
There was
balances.
1.4 for last year. Those are the two contributions that have been made so far.
Right, because that was the extra tax for gasoline, correct?
yeah.
And it rebates back to the city. Okay, so so you're using all of it for this project,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was $1.4 million. Was that used also already?
That's also been put in
And
the
it's
Tiger
all
Grant.
been towards the Broad Street improvements?
Right.
Correct.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions? Madam City Clerk?
09617, reallocate 400,000 from citywide signal innovation and assessment to CSX Bridge Painting Broad Street. 21618, authorize contract with Youngblood Barrett Construction and Engineering for fire training center administration classroom building, $1,932,313. 21619, authorized contract with Thompson Engineering for citywide bridge inspection, $219,560. 21620, authorized contract with Doyle Associates for Mobile Sanger Theater mechanical upgrades, $25,468. 23621, accept permanent drainage and temporary construction easements for the 2019 McRae Avenue Drainage Phase 2 project. 6622, proclaim July 8th as a day of remembrance for the captives and survivors of the slave ship Clotilda. Call for public hearings, 41623, call for public hearing to rezone property located at 6636, 6638, 6640, 6666, 6680, 6692 O'Shell Road, north side of O'Shell Road, 520 feet west of the north terminus of Dickens Ferry Road, from R1 to R3, scheduled August 31st. 41624, call for public hearing to consider the vacation of an alley located parallel and adjacent to the south property line of Lot 4, Edgewood Park, scheduled September 7th.
Any announcements prior to the 10:30 meeting by members of the council?
I have a question, and I know
Ms. Rich?
everyone is not present, but the city election, of course, I'm not involved, but August 24th is a Tuesday. In the past, when it's been a city election, we have taken that day off and met Wednesday instead. So I was just wondering whether that would be the will of the council. So it hasn't been discussed.
I'm certainly interested in changing the date. I won't be here, I can guarantee you.
Well, I was thinking that we might have some reason to do it.
I think that Wednesday would work for me. What about you, Mr. Williams?
It's never been done otherwise in the 15 years I've been on the council.
Yes, it has.
I would not since I've been.
City elections, well, okay. It's hard for people who are
Mr. Davis?
out there actively campaigning.
Mr. Richardson?
I agree.
Well, Madam City Clerk, if we could make plans to convene that Wednesday and make certain that all the proper notices go out, that would be very helpful.
Be good on the clerks, too.
It's always been done that way. We've always had it on Wednesday. It's not an issue. Clerk's got to handle that.
All right, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Richardson.
That's a question, do you plan to invite, we got this proclamation for the Africatown captives and survivors of the close ship, of the Clotilda slave ship. So, are you planning to invite any of the descendants of the slave ship to be? This is going to be important next week for us to make this proclamation. I think we ought to have some of the descendants down there.
I do plan on that.
Okay.
We're making some outreach. As a matter of fact, they're the ones that made the suggestion that this be put on the agenda, and I support it 100%. Jeremy Ellis, one of the descendants out of Atlanta, Georgia, and it's Joyce Davis with the Clotilda Descendants Association have been prompting this. So I'll anticipate them being here next week. Yes, sir. Any other announcements or comments? Mr. Mayor? Well, we'll see each other at 10:30. Thank you.